Really not complicated at all. All you need to know, it's a subset of major scales. Take a major scale, start on the second note, go back to the second note, Dorian. Third note, go to the third note, you get Phrygian. Fourth note, go an octave up to the fourth note, Lydian. Fifth note to the fifth note, Mixolydian, and so forth for Aeolian and Locrian. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and to my new house. This is flipping amazing. I'm in the basement. It's totally not set up yet. There's still boxes everywhere, but you know, I'm here. So thanks for tuning in. If you're new here, stick around. I encourage you to subscribe. I post weekly videos on guitar topics, and I think you'll like it. So let's get into it. So today I just wanted to talk to you about the topic of modes. Now, if you look up videos on modes, you see people explaining it simply, explaining it in a complicated kind of way, and usually their explanations are relatively simple. But when they go to apply it, it just sounds crazy, and it just sounds complicated and not always sounds good. So I just want to give you all a way to understand it easily, and then a way to have some fun with it and apply it in your playing almost immediately. So the first thing you need to understand, the most simply I can explain this, is modes are a subset of scales. So if you know a major scale, you'll be able to understand this. So what is a major scale? A major scale is just a combination of whole steps and half steps. Now, a whole step is simply two half steps, and a half step is a half step. So a half step, basically if you look at a white key to a black key on a piano or on a guitar, one fret to the next fret, that's a half step. So if you take two half steps, you get a whole step. So if we take whole steps and half steps and put them into a pattern, we get the major scale. And that's simply whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Boom, you got a major scale. So whenever it comes to modes, if we just look at C major is easiest because it has no sharps, no flats. We get the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, the technical term for that major scale is Ionian, so you technically already know one mode. Now, the next modes are simply understood as, just like I said before, a subset of this major scale pattern. So, instead of starting on C, if we start on the note D, and we go D to D, we get the second mode, Dorian. So we get a different pattern. So the pattern here is whole step from the first note, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. So all this, if you know a major scale, you can know modes. It's super easy. It's really not complicated at all. All you need to know, it's a subset of major scales. Take a major scale, start on the second note, go back to the second note, Dorian. Third note, go to the third note, you get Phrygian. Fourth note, go an octave up to the fourth note, Lydian. Fifth note to the fifth note, Mixolydian, and so forth for Aeolian and Locrian. Super easy, not hard to understand. Again, you do need to understand a major scale, and the major scale is simply just a pattern of whole steps and half steps. And then once you got that, modes are just one step away. Okay. Now, with 7 different modes and all these scales, we're going to have basically 7 different versions for each chord. We're just going to do triads, and that's what I recommend just starting out, just doing simple chords. But this idea is known as modal interchange. Now, modal interchange basically is whenever you substitute or add one of the chords from a different mode, a subset of the major scale, into your chord progression, okay? So let's take an easy one, like G, C, D, E minor, D, G. So just like this. Now here I'm using G major. just because G works well on guitar. So if I take and do something like this, start with the same G major and go to G. Now from Lydian, I add the sharp 4 diminished and then go to D major from there, and then back to E minor, D, and G. So all together sounds like this. And that's just one addition or one change. And that came from Lydian. So let's look at another one. So that time I went from the 4 to the 4 minor, and there's a couple of different scales that use the 4 minor. The Aeolian does, Locrian does, and Phrygian uses 4 minor. You can even do this with minor chord progressions. Let's say we go A minor. So there you have it, just a simple way to understand modal interchange and also how to use modes and what modes are. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know, and maybe I can do like a Q&A or a part 2 on this or something. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.